Is This Going to Cause an Argument? It's sponsored by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can take you a lifetime. The reason is because we're always growing. We're changing. The 20-year-old me is very different than the 42-year-old me, just because my life experiences have really informed me on how I view things and how I have come into knowing more things about myself. So therapy is a tool in helping you with your self-awareness and understanding yourself. Because sometimes we honestly don't know what we want and why we react certain ways until we actually talk things through. Well, BetterHelp can connect you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. Y'all know that I love therapy. I just absolutely love my therapist. And we have had so many conversations that have just increased my understanding of myself, that have increased my emotional intelligence and understanding my relationship with my emotions. This is something that I am certain I couldn't have done on my own, because I just don't have the training or the wherewithal or the capacity to be able to break it down all myself. So I'm so glad I have her along the way as I begin to process this person called Angel. So this is what I believe, is that if you're thinking about therapy, you need to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, and it's actually designed to be convenient, to be flexible, to be suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/argue today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/argue.
Argue.
What's up, everybody?
What's happening, family?
And welcome back to another episode of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument? My name is Angel Tanksley, also known as Angel Akita Moore, also known as That Chick Angel. That Chick Angel. And I'm joined by this man right here. If you're looking at us, you see him. He's gorgeous in the red. If you can't see him, you'll hear him. He's my husband, my man, my lover, and my friend. And the other host of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument? Baby, tell him who you are.
I'm Marcus Tanksley, a.k.a. Tank. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. The other host of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument. If this is your first time tuning in, we greatly appreciate it. This is a weekly podcast that we do every goddamn week. That's what weekly means. And we do it every week with our immediate family. Our immediate family is on Patreon, all right? They watching us film this live, as they do a lot of stuff with us live. They got comments and stuff coming in. They saying what's up to us. We usually talk to them before and after the episode. So if you want to be a part of the immediate Patreon, immediate family, you can go to Patreon at patreon.com/thatchickangel. Sign up for the low of $5 a month.
Boom.
Also,
go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Also, we got some wonderful sponsors. You've already heard from one, BetterHelp.
Then you're going to hear from my other favorite trail mix games. Y'all, I'm in it to win it. But just as an explanation, just in case, our immediate family isn't the immediate family we're talking about. They're our supporters.
Yeah.
I just like to sometimes explain it.
Oh, yes. We call them our immediate family.
Yes.
It's our family that's in the Patreon.
You said our immediate family's in the Patreon.
Family. It's our, actually, we got blood family.
We got blood family in there, too.
Yeah. We call the Patreon the family.
Yeah. Your immediate family. We call all of our supporters family.
Actually,
but if you are a Patreon, then you immediate family. Rest of y'all is just, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins. But them Patreon, that's our brothers and sisters up in there. You feel me? So we are both exhausted. Mm-hmm. Y'all know I'm on my wellness journey. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. early morning. Yesterday I had a cough attack. If you can tell, my voice sounds a little strained. I think I feel like my asthma is flaring up, and I haven't had asthma symptoms since I was 7.
We've been going through it. It started a month and a half ago. It feel like
it's been forever.
The kids got sick. Angel got sick. She got me sick, and we are both over our colds. But like Angel tell you, every morning it don't sound like I'm over nothing.
Yeah, and I was doing a lot better, and then literally last night while we were in the bed, I couldn't stop coughing.
That was me. Actually, if I'm laying on the couch, like not even if I'm sitting on the couch, like slightly riding back like this, I start having a coughing fit. It's still stuff draining. I told Angel, I said, we're going to both get some antibiotics today because this has been going on way too long. Worked out this morning. Whole time I'm working out, I'm going grabbing paper towel and blowing and hacking stuff up, color these leaves. I'm like, when is it going to leave?
What I'm having an issue with right now, sorry to give you all our ailments. This is not how we usually start.
Sorry I got to hear the description of this stuff, but hey, this is facts right here. We just...
Well, I worked out this morning. My lung capacity was fine. I didn't feel winded. I do not feel like I have full lung capacity now. I feel slightly winded.
That sounds like allergies.
And we had a lot of wind.
Yeah, we had a lot of wind. And also, every single week, me and Greg go in that room and film our podcast. Both of our eyes water. We start sniffling. I don't know if it's they got bad filters in this building or what, but I think it's something in this office.
Yeah, well, definitely, like I said, I feel like I haven't had asthmatic symptoms since I was 7. And I'm like, what is this?
Well, I didn't get asthmatic symptoms till I was 35. So.
Well, listen, you got the bad end of the stick, but this ain't a good end if this is happening to me now. Anyway, we like to start off our podcast with 1 or 2 segments. There's there's either In My Feelings, where Marcus and I talk about things that's got us feeling some type of way this week, or we do Tanksley Pride. Tanksley Pride is a segment where we talk about one or all of our 4 boys. We have 4 boys. We have a 13-year-old, 8-year-old twins, and a 3-year-old. So we're actually going to start off with Tanksley Pride today. And also, I'm going to say it now out loud so that y'all can remind me at the very end. We want to give a shout out and give you all a special code to our friends over at How Married Are You? Glenn and I want to call her Chocolate Mama. That is not right. Glenn and Yvette, They have an e-course out, and they gave us a code to share with you all, and I have forgot to put it in the docket, so I'm going to make sure I share it with you all today. So make sure y'all stick around so y'all can get that code, all right? And it's Miss Melanated. I was like, Chocolate Mama?
Somebody's pulling a who's Jacqueline, talking about Yolanda.
Not Yolanda.
Yeah.
When did I
say?
Oh,
they said Yolanda.
Yolanda. They were like, it's a Y. Yolanda. Okay.
Nisha.
So, Marcus, share with us your Tanksley Pride story.
I was sitting here going through my mind. I'm like, Amar's been doing his thing. The twins, everybody's been doing their thing. Let me talk about Marcus real quick, and I don't like it. He's been in this growth spurt for, I feel like, the last 6 months, where he goes to bed and wakes up and something has changed. I was cutting his hair yesterday, and I don't like how thick this mustache is getting on him.
You didn't want to cut it?
Nah, I ain't leave it alone. He's gonna. Let me see. What's this? He's 13. God dang. This is March. What is this? March. Definitely by this time next year, he's gonna be eye to eye with me.
You feel like he's gonna be eye to eye?
Yeah, because he's 13. He'll be 14 by the end of this year. Rolling around through. Yeah, if it's not by this time next year, it'll be the end of the summer next year, because usually you have the growth spurts in the summer. During the summer months, men do anyway.
Is that for real?
Everybody that I know of, they usually every guy that I know of that talked about growth spurts is like it happened over the summer, like in the summer months. By the end of next year, he's gonna be eye to eye with me because he's tall. He's getting taller. This mustache, this face. He ain't got no choice but to be hairy. None of our kids do, because Angel's hairy, I'm hairy.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But I was sitting there like cutting his hair, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, I remember that was just dark above his lip. Now it's like actual hair. I'd be damned if I trim that mustache. I will never.
It's getting
He's
trimmed.
He's to do it himself.
He's like right under 5'11". He's about 5'11".
Yeah, and his peach fuzz is thick. It ain't hairy yet. It's like peach fuzz because I had to clean it up, and I was like, That's a lot.
Oh,
because he's got sideburns, and I'm like, that's almost cheek line. Like
I rub his face every now and again because he used to have the softest skin, and he knows I complain every time I feel it, and it's not as soft as it used to be. I was like, what is going on? It's just, it is sad. And seeing, it's one thing for him to delusionally think that he's taller than me. But to see him, that video that you did where you all walked past each other, I was like, hey, does he have on shoes?
Yeah,
why is he this close to your height?
He is tall, but I don't bend over to hug him at all. It's straight upright.
I do. I bend over.
I'll
be like, come on into my bosom, because he's still that short. To me, at least. I don't know what you're doing, but to me.
Yeah, he's gonna start hitting these growth spurts. He didn't complain. He's already hitting one. He's in one right now, and he hadn't complained about any knee pains. That's what I had. It was painful for me.
So my Tanksley Pride story, without talking about the specific events, because we didn't talk about it on Here's the Thing. I had brought up to my children the unfortunate incident that had happened, that was reported this weekend, of allegedly happening between a big rising star and a woman.
You said y'all didn't talk about it?
We didn't talk about it on Here's the Thing. We're purposefully waiting until everything shakes out before we have any public opinion. So
we all know what we talking about by now.
Yeah, but this is the Tanksley Pride story.
Ain't got nothing to do with that. Well,
it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am talking to little Marcus in the car. The twins are in the car too. And I asked him, I was like, hey, did you hear about this situation? Little Marcus didn't, because he's not on social media. And on YouTube, he's watching how to play a video game.
Right.
And so, first of all, he didn't know the actor's name. And I mentioned the movie that the actor was in. And so all the kids, because I took the boys to go see the movie, all 4 boys. They loved it. And I explained to them what assault meant. And I, because usually in parenting terms, we say, don't hit your brother, don't hit nobody. Mm-hmm. They don't know that in the world of law, and especially when you become an adult, it's called assault. And I was like, and assaulting someone is illegal, regardless of the gender, and actually regardless of the age, right? And so they're all like understanding, okay, what this term is. And I was explaining to them, I was like, it would be, terribly unfortunate if this was true, because it's always sad to hear about domestic violence. Mm-hmm. But then I switched it over to, I said, however, I need you all to know, historically in America, there has been a recurring theme that has happened specifically between black men and white women. Mm-hmm. I was like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened enough times that we have to pause, And so I explained to them Emmett Till. Little Marcus already knew Emmett Till, who Emmett Till was in the story. So I explained it to Kai and Sai, what it was, of the situation of a young boy that was accused of whistling at a white woman, and how that young boy was beaten to death and thrown in a river. And I was like, and that woman is still alive to this day, and she never served time in prison, even though she admitted that she lied.
That ain't even got cancer.
No, she's alive. I was like,
people like that the worst of it.
I said she should spend however many years that God, or days or minutes, God has left for her to spend on this
federal
earth.
Hard time. Make her have to join a gang in prison.
I said she should spend the rest of her days in prison, regardless of how long those days are. And he was like, Kai was like, she's not in jail. And I was like, no, she's not. But this is the part of the story that I want y'all to know. And then you all will know who I'm talking about. And yes, Just Jazzy, I have read that she's the woman in the situation that I'm talking about has recanted her statement completely.
Oh, yeah.
But explaining the story
in the
to
movie
the boys,
Stars, the up-and-coming stars situation, she's recanted what she said.
Explaining the story to the boys about this person was arrested because someone alleged that they had been assaulted by him.
Here comes the kicker.
Kai says, wait a minute. Damien got arrested? Now, if you've seen the movie that I'm talking about, the person plays this character. You talking about Kai being so perturbed because at the end of the story, he
just got out. He was
just
good.
got out. And he was like, I don't understand how he just went back in. That don't make no sense.
He cleared his life up. He was in the hood at one point, but hey.
Right. He was, I'm telling you, my baby was perplexed about the whole situation. But I just loved how he followed, and he was just like trying to get it. He was trying to understand. I was like, I was like explaining. I was like, sometimes when people get locked up, they can pay to not have to wait in prison or jail until their, hearing or whatever. But God was just like really trying to. People just be walking up in here.
I mean, that's usually what you do in the office building. Some random ass person.
Oh no. Okay. See, I would have been.
You got the wrong outfit. Well, there's no.
Oh right. You're right. You're right. But yeah, Kai being so perplexed and concerned. That's all we'll say on that situation. I'm going to remain in solidarity with my friend Kevin. We ain't gonna say nothing because this is I can't imagine the turmoil someone would have to be in. Dealing with a situation like this, where this is not something that, in some cases, hell, there's a lot of organizations that be playing and don't care. Women be getting tore up all the time, but this is not something, an accusation that we want to take lightly, is what I'm saying. Yeah. But anyways, Kai, that baby, I was just like, yes, baby, that's what I'm saying.
Inside every day we ride home, or most days I'm picking them up from the bus stop. And the conversations that are had is just, I try to vlog some of them. And it's just like, what they rarely see eye to eye. And they both just be throwing out random facts that are not facts.
Right.
And then one is like, no, that's not true. No, Kai, that's not true. No, Sai. No, listen to me. They just be going back and forth. I'm like, this is what it is. It's going to be them two old men just going at it.
Just going at it. Speaking of vlogs, if you all didn't know, those of y'all who are either watching or not watching, we have daily vlogs on the YouTube channel, That Chick Angel TV. So make sure y'all checking that out. You get to know us better as a family outside of our sitting here and talking so professionally. Yeah.
Is that what we doing?
You don't think we sound professional?
Nah.
Okay. All right, our next segment is TikTok o'clock.
Angel, girl, what time is it?
TikTok o'clock. Okay, I've got to make sure I set myself up right and make sure there's no sound playing anywhere. TikTok o'clock is where we listen to something from TikTok to give our opinion on it. And this one is specifically talking about parenting. And in this TikTok o'clock, basically, obviously, we realize being 40-something years old, our children are being in a world that's very different than the world that we were raised in. We started off growing up, the internet did not exist. Nah. Cell phones were only reserved for the rich. And we only knew really about the people that were in our neighborhoods, in our schools, and who the news showed us. Outside of that, we didn't know nobody. We knew other people existed, but we didn't know nothing about them. Well, that's not the kicker. There's also now artificial intelligence, and it's becoming more and more of a craze. It's growing rapidly. So we're going to get some advice from this man. I'll tell you all who it is after we watch the clip. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Black people better stop sending their kids to college and start sending them to trade school, because with the artificial intelligence takeover, any job that a robot can do, won't be around 10, 20 years from now. You have to make sure you are majoring in a profession that can only be done with human hands. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
The trades can only be done with human hands. Black people.
So if y'all don't know that voice, that is the rather famous Dr. Umar.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that, Marcus? As someone who studied the trades, got his degree in the trades, and had worked it for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on his statement?
Well, on one hand, I've always said the trades were a good idea for anybody. That's something that people go into. People don't realize how successful people can be in trades. There are some of these trades that pay athlete money. I know people in medical professionals that ain't making nowhere near that. A lot of these unions pay well. Trades are a good idea. They something good to get into. However, going to college, just because you go to a trade don't mean you guarantee that a artificial intelligence or a robot can't take your job. Same as most people go to college. I'm trying to think of what he's saying, basically anything, because most robots are taking the jobs of people that work with their hands.
That was my
I didn't put that together until I was literally, as I'm talking here, I'm like, people working in factories, like you said, the first one the robots took the jobs of is the auto manufacturers. There was a first job to go. All the welding, all the moving stuff. Now it's all automated. Granted, you have technicians that may work on the robots, but a lot of those, that's just how it goes. Even they got 3D printing houses now, like concrete bases and stuff. That's a trade, masonry. You know what I'm saying? And technically, if you have a robot or if you have a program that can build a house, you can also have a program to repair that house. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they have a thing right now. They do 3D blueprints to where throughout the phase of a project, like we did it out of LAX, it was introduced that they weren't doing it yet. From ground up, every step of the way, they go in and take 3D photographs. So you can literally pull this thing up on a computer. You can zoom inside a wall, see what's running through a wall. If you have that information, you can then program a robot to go in and fix and repair anything that happens.
Yeah.
The key of it is if you go to a university and get a degree, there's a higher possibility that you can have a job to where you are doing the programming of these robots. You are doing you are writing these programs. Granted, you got those in trades too. They have. I took a PLC's class and I did a lot of programming. Actually, your mom was the second person to introduce me to writing programs and stuff. But artificial intelligence, that's just one more thing that people have to adjust and overcome. The trades ain't going to save you from that. Going to college ain't gonna save you from it, depending on what the profession is. It's like you ain't no trade for being a medical profession. You know what I'm saying? You got people riding around in ambulances. Ain't no robot gonna come out and triage nobody.
Right.
Because it could go either way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
At least right now, but
I feel like nothing is going to save us from.
Yeah.
Like I at one point in time thought,
it's
I literally
convenience.
no. I literally said this on Here's the Thing. That I felt like creativity was the way to secure your job. Meaning, artists, you think, an artist is coming up with something out of nothing. Whether it be something funny, whether it be art, whether it be like a movie script. Well, they're training them to do that now, too. So there's really no genre other than having eggs in my body and you having sperm in yours. I really don't know where we could actually hide ourselves, I guess, to...
I feel like it's still a certain, certain things to know that they're made by, like you see a beautiful sculpture, wooden sculpture or something, and it's just like, oh, that's nice, or even something made out of stone. To know the difference, to know that somebody actually made that holds a different weight.
Oh,
It's like, oh,
absolutely.
this is absolute, like Ferrari.
That's why Etsy even exists. Like when you want something handmade, a lot of times.
Now we talk about the auto industry, Bentley, Ferrari. One of the reasons that these cars are so expensive is because they're handmade still.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have robots. In the Ferrari plants, they actually have trees because they need to keep the humidity level at a certain space naturally, because it all goes into the engineering of the metal and everything that they're putting together. So they have a certain amount of trees that they have to keep, and certain types of trees. Things like this is what makes something more expensive, because they have technicians that put their hands on every single nut and bolt, and there is no robots. So there is definitely who was that? They said there was a AI that wrote a song or something like that.
Oh yeah, they write songs and jokes and captions.
This is like, all right, so you hear a song, even naturally somebody's gonna be like, oh, the artificial intelligence does that. It may be needed first, but eventually people will still want to know that human hands was behind this.
I mean, that is I feel like the only control we have over it. But before we continue to talk about that, let me tell y'all about Trail Mix Games. Now, I done talked about Love and Pies before, but I got to tell you more about it, okay? So, as y'all probably know, mobile games are a great way to pass time. It's like I just had to travel, and when I have especially like when I'm editing and I have to wait for everything to process, I'll be jumping on my Love and Pies because it's my jam. It has charming graphics, laid back gameplay, and a story full of scandalous secrets. Find the perfectly cozy, download Love and Pies by Trail Mix Games for free. It's a casual Merge 2 game where you build your very own cafe, combine ingredients, and uncover a story of drama and romance. First of all, I have renovated so much of this cafe because, y'all, it burned down, right? We're trying to figure out who burned down the cafe. But me and Amelia, we putting in the work. Okay, we now doing some, actually, I've redone 4 areas in this, at this cafe. It's looking pretty cute. And all the characters, I'm in this one spot of the story. I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but I feel like I'm dealing with somebody who has a secret identity. I don't want to tell y'all, but it's so good. There's romance, there's motherhood, there's family, there's frenemies, and there's real enemies. It's everything. So play as Amelia as you take over the old family cafe and restore it to its former glory. Meet a diverse cast of characters as you uncover the family story full of secrets and laughs. Decorate your cafe and the surrounding areas with beautifully designed items. Trail Mix Games creates games that are snackable and nourishing to the heart. They aim to create safe, empowering spaces for players of all ages. With each beautiful game they create, they foster a culture of trust, respect, and creativity. For a tasty mix of love and drama, download Love and Pies for free today. That's Love and Pies, free to download in the App Store or Google Play. So, I think just with anything, same thing with even the reason why, okay, so things made in America a lot of times cost more than things that we import from over in China. Mm-hmm. The reason why American-made companies can still thrive in any way, shape, or form is because there are certain people who are determined to buy American. Just like me being very determined to put my money in Black businesses.
Right.
I can potentially get things cheaper elsewhere. But I will, like I just recently bought some braiding hair from a Black company. It was way more expensive than going to the regular hair store that I would normally buy hair from. So I think to your point, I think that when you, in this whole revolution of AI, there might not be the large percentage, but there will be people who will still appreciate things that are done with human hands, by human hands. I do think there's some health. They have talked about AI in healthcare recently.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, now I'm not doubting like AI could do something with in a controlled situation, but when I say like triage or out in a paramedic or something, trauma out there in the field, that's not a controlled thing. Usually AI and everything is in a controlled environment. Like they can build a car or something because it's a controlled environment. You know what I'm saying? Like building them knowing how the house was built and programming it, that's also controlled. But what I was going to say about just real quick, it might be off a little bit. Even the auto industry, people think, it's like, I got to buy, American car made in America. There's more Toyotas and Lexuses made in the U.S. than there are GMs.
Oh, yeah.
Because the plants are here in the U.S. I had a Chevrolet Silverado. It was made in Mexico. I looked up the VIN number. They have a massive plant down there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know a lot of the worry is that AI will become sentient, that it'll, we've watched Westworld.
Yeah. Terminator.
There's all these things that we've watched that we're like.
Every movie leads to the human race. The humans they're gonna die off regardless. It just which way is it gonna come? We're not doing a good job of preserving ourselves. The planet, people think the planet, it's gonna end the Earth. The Earth has been here. It's been through multiple extinction level events. Multiple. We've been here for the shortest amount of time, and we will probably be here for the shortest amount of time. It's just going to be a whole nother thing that's going to start up after we long gone, wondering what all these random things are and who built them.
So enjoy your time and do whatever you're passionate about.
Yeah, truly.
Long story short,
truly.
like if you're going to sit here and worry about what AI is about to do, then you might as well just sit at home.
Right, and it's convenience. It's like, they ain't got to worry about the robots. Don't need vacation. They don't get sick. They may need to be repaired every now and then, but you can make up for that lost time by working it
twice as hard.
Yeah, twice as hard and not caring. It ain't got to deal with HR. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't going to be hitting on another robot. Right. There will be no Me Too movements for these robots.
And that's what it is. It's convenience. It's a upfront cost to get this stuff in, but then it's just like, how can I make this? Look, if I could have a robot make man shit, guess what?
Marcus would be on that.
Put that program in. I ain't gonna let them get done.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so on to our main topic. Our main topic is old school versus new school parenting style.
Say cars. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about old school and new school. From disciplines to education, we're going to give our honest opinions on so-called modern parenting trends that have been popping up. So I'm going to look up some parenting trends, because I know a lot of times we talk about gentle parenting, but there are so many other parenting trends that are in existence now that that did not exist, at least not to anybody that we knew of. Sorry, I am really having a lot of burping here lately, and I don't mean to. So anyways, one of the old school family trends that I don't know if it's still happening now is family dinners every night. Those don't happen as much. At least I wouldn't know.
I'm trying to think. The families that I do know of, I don't know what they'd be doing for dinner, but yeah, for us, it stopped at Marcus. We used to sit down at the table and eat, and there's definitely a huge con to that.
To them, which one? Kind of what?
To not having, like, sitting down at the table and the family eating dinner together.
What's the con?
A huge con that I've noticed is my kids, they don't do well at using utensils.
Yeah, they're not watching it be done.
Yeah, they're not watching it be done properly. Like, multiple times I've had to show them how, because they'll take their fork and they'll try to put a whole burrito in their mouth if they could with the fork. Got food all over their mouth, and then I've shown them how to do it multiple times. Is hold your food with the fork, cut with the knife, put a small bite in your mouth. And the fact that I've had to show them this multiple times just lets me know that because they're not seeing us do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times we are I think it's a sign of the times too, is we're busy doing stuff. So by the time they eat, we're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
We're rarely eating at the same time as them.
Yeah. It's not often. We got to do better. We do. We only typically eat together if we go out to eat, which Marcus typically doesn't want to take the kids. I will try to sometimes force the issue, not all the time. Or
they do well in restaurants. It's just when it's a crowded situation, it's like it's mainly Amar's
a lot. Or if I fix breakfast on a Saturday, then we might sit down at the table and eat. But it's not. We did it during the pandemic.
Yeah,
we would sit down and eat and talk and everything and play music. But it's not something that we typically do now. Okay, another trend that is happening more now than what it used to are staycations. I know you grew up, y'all took family vacations.
We definitely took 2 major ones. It wasn't all the time. But we drove to Florida. We went to Disney World. Another one we took was to Washington D.C. That was driving to. We wasn't flying nowhere.
Right.
But
y'all, everything y'all were going to was over there. Y'all weren't like, and we're going to Hollywood.
Oh no. And then we would do little stuff we would do little stuff like more locally than driving, all the way to Florida or all the way to D.C. But we went staycations. It was like at a younger age, my parents were still really active, so they was going to like jazz festivals and stuff. That's when I got a chance to stay with a cousin or something, so that was fun in itself.
Yeah.
But as far as and we would do stuff all summer, it was always something going on. So
yeah, like I remember car rides. I remember long car rides.
I actually enjoy car rides.
Angel hates them. We've driven to Canada. We used to drive to Illinois all the time, Baltimore, North Carolina. Nothing ever far West Coast, towards the West.
Long enough to get away from the feds, huh?
And you got it. You got it right. No, and I remember this is obviously before electronics were a thing.
Yeah.
And having to come up with car ride games, getting the snacks. We would always have a cooler.
Oh, the classic. That's Kings Island. We always did a bunch of stuff like that.
Y'all did family vacations. Ours, I don't know if we consider them vacations because we were always visiting family. We never got to go to a place for real. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to Disneyland.
But it would have still been considered a vacation for us if we went to go visit my cousin Missy. And it was like, oh, this is a vacation.
Well, when you don't do it often, it feels like a vacation. When you do it all the time, it feels like we going to visit family. This is not vacation at all. That is one of the reasons why I feel like my sister Daisy, she takes her family on vacation every year because that was not, even though we did car rides in their work, I can remember a few family, like I said, that Canada one was definitely a vacation. I don't remember others that I would have, it might have been vacation for my mother because she wasn't going to work. But for us, it wasn't like, I've been waiting to go to this place.
Yeah.
She takes her family on vacation every single year. It took us forever to start taking our kids on vacation. That's why I didn't consider taking them to Kentucky family vacation. That felt like you going to visit your family. Even though they enjoyed it.
I was going to say they probably enjoy that more than actually going on a vacation somewhere.
I don't know. The way they lost their mind about the Bahamas in Disneyland.
Come on.
Well, I'm saying
Disneyland's Disneyland. Bahamas,
Disney World.
like Disney World, and the Bahamas.
Well, those are vacations. Like for me, I wanted to be a vacation for both me and the children, and not just me and not just them. But that's something that I know financially, the way the U.S. is set up right now, it's hard to just keep afloat during the regular time. Right. So to be like, and now I'm going to take off a week and spend more money,
right,
isn't very fathomable. So I understand why people be like, it's going to be a staycation. For me, we're going to rent some movies and stream some movies. And
group together with another family, have you a good time.
Yeah, it could be. You're right. Okay. All right, here's another one. What do you think about basic birthdays? That was an old school family tradition.
What you mean basic birthdays?
You got a cake and you invite your family and a couple friends over. There was no.
Oh yeah, that was my life.
It was
until
mine
I got
too.
Old enough to have everybody meet me at Applebee's. I had one actual birthday party at McDonald's one time. Remember I got Leonardo, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and Jet. No, that was at Chris. No, that was the birthday.
I remember
remote control Jet, but it was hooked to the cord and it just made a bunch of noise.
I remember
I know that was Daddy's idea.
Celebrating birthdays at McDonald's.
Yeah, I just said it was at McDonald's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the McDonald's part. Yes, but now it's an event. Like Kai and Sai's 8th birthday was so expensive.
First, my sister's birthday was like a family reunion. July 28th.
That's still
every birthday of hers.
But that's still a basic birthday. Y'all did it at the house, right?
It was in my granny's front yard. There was volleyball set up It'd be like 50 people at this goddamn thing.
That's still considered a basic birthday. That setting up a volleyball net is not the type of birthdays people are throwing for their kids.
Barbecuing and stuff.
Yeah, that's a basic birthday.
What? All right.
No, compare it to kids nowadays, babe. You all weren't going to no expensive indoor play area.
Certain people, majority of the people ain't doing that.
What you mean, majority of the people?
Going and spending the type of money we spent on this goddamn birthday party?
They might not be spending the type of money we spent, but people are doing more. Goodie bags did not exist when we were having birthday parties. The fact you got some cake.
My sister's birthday parties had goodie bags.
Well, y'all were rich.
It had games. Well, I tell you, it may have been at the house, but this was a full-out event.
Y'all had goodie bags. What was in the goodie bags?
Toys. Water gun toys. Them little things that with the thing, you push the button, it look like a Game Boy, but it ain't. You just push the button, it got water pressure, try to get the rings. Little fish, it was all kinds of stuff.
And all the kids got
yes.
a bag. Okay, well, listen, y'all was living a different rich lifestyle.
Think about it. Kevin Hart had a birthday party at his kid's house and had horseback riding.
At his baby mom's house?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's not a basic birthday party.
Volleyball net and a horse are two very different levels.
I'm saying people still did big things back then. Just because it wasn't at an expensive place don't mean it was like, when I say basic birthday, me and you had basic birthday parties where it was like a cousin would jump out and say surprise versus more than half the family done showed up. Other people's family has showed up. And we done ran out of parking in the country. How you do that?
See, you're going off of the amount of people. I am just talking about let's get some ground rules level. I'm talking about the amount of planning to execute plus money as well. Okay.
We done rented chairs and tables.
Oh, Marcus, you done already proven that Sonia's wasn't basic. As soon as you said y'all had goodie bags.
I'm just saying.
Goodie bags take a lot more preparation.
I'm just saying, but it was still, you said it's still at the house. And I'm like, that don't define basic, though.
A lot, like I said, planning and money. Those are the things. A volleyball net to me is not like, ooh, y'all didn't spend a lot of money. That's not it.
You didn't see this volleyball net.
Marcus, shut up.
I'm serious. Thing's massive. Well, you got four rows of people on each side.
But you definitely cannot compare no goddamn horse to
no. I told you the precedent. It sounded like you were setting though.
Oh, okay. What do you think about the tradition that is now happening that wasn't happening before? Gender reveals.
Do him. It's fun. I mean, people do. I mean, yeah, like you said, they used to just be like, let's find out what it is, boy or girl. But now, like, it's a fun thing. People made an event out of it. I mean,
I've never gotten to do a gender reveal.
No, we were just trying to find out what it was, hoping for a girl. Didn't happen. So.
Yeah, I never did a gender reveal.
Could you imagine 4 disappointments?
Well, that's the big reason why I didn't do it with Amar, because I was like, if this is not a girl, I don't want to carry that disappointment. So by the time I'm pushing this baby about my coochie, I don't care what it is. I'm going to be happy that it's here. So that's why I was like, I don't want to know. I am done. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I get the excitement, though.
You get the excitement for?
Of wanting to know what you're having.
Yeah. No, I do, too. Yeah. I do, too. If I'd already had a girl, then I'd be like, let's do a production. But I was like, I will not document my sadness for this child to see. That is not happening.
They'll hear about it when they disappoint us.
Now, here is one that I can tell you right now. Cy wants, and he wants it today and every day. The tradition of playing games together.
Yeah.
That's very old school. I don't feel like I see a lot of, the only reason why, okay, this is what I will say. TikTok has made it where I feel like I see more families playing games together. They're not the traditional board games, but they're like internet created games that you want the family, like you want to showcase your family doing. For instance, if you are following me on Instagram at That Chick Angel or on TikTok at That Chick Angel TV, you'll see that my niece, Victory, suggested, well, you don't know she suggested, y'all think it was me. It was her, that we do this trend called turn around, where you rotate in a circle / square. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm just in a wreck right now. Anyways, you rotate every time the song says turn around. It was me, my niece Victory, one of my older sisters, Daisy, and my mother. We did 5 attempts.
You never have to say one of your older sisters.
You're right, but I said it anyways. It might be somebody new. They don't know. They might not know I'm the youngest and that you're the youngest.
But then that will make them assume that you have a younger sister if you say one of my older sisters.
Maybe I do have a younger sister, Marcus. My life is that complex.
You're right.
So anyways, we tried 5 times. And I posted our best attempt, the most successful one. It was so much fun to do. I'm sure if the twins were downstairs, they would have wanted to participate. If they would have, Kai would have been like, "That's all right, bro. That's all right.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't feel like playing games with the family is old school because you hear a lot of people talking about game nights.
I feel like they're talking about with other adults, though. They're not talking about with their family, with their children.
I disagree. I feel like games have. But thing about it is, you got all of these games that are still sold in Target stores and Walmart stores in the kids section, and it's like somebody's buying those games and playing the games with the kids.
Did y'all play games as a family? Okay, now think about how many times we played games with the boys. We don't do it often.
Yeah, but we know people that do it often.
Who?
There was don't Kevin and Melissa and them play games with their kids? First of all, we don't know a whole lot of families with a whole lot of kids like us.
I mean,
especially not out here.
I mean, I know ones that are back home. They don't have a bunch of family. I don't know of them. Kevin and Melissa throw game nights, but it's not like them, the 4 of them as a family, we're about to play this game together.
And one thing that changed that are video games, but
yes.
Now I still feel like families still get together and play games.
Somebody said the only game my family played was spades. Yeah, Just Jazzy, that is us. We buy all the games. We just don't play the games.
No, you buy all these goddamn games.
No, I'm reading Jazzy's comments.
Well, Jazzy, you too. We got
up.
so many goddamn games.
We do, and Sai wants to play all of them. He really does. Sai loves when Portia left and didn't tell him goodbye the one time that she visited, and I made sure she felt the just how terrible she was as a cousin. He called her and he said when she comes back in town, that she was like, well, what do you want to do? He was like, I want to play games. Like he wants to pull out the board games and get into it. The other kids, they're just fine with their iPads. Sai would literally give up his Switch and his iPad to play a board game or some sort of game with us every night. He thoroughly enjoys it. Absolutely. If our kids weren't so far apart in age, it would be a lot easier. So trying to find a game that evenly spreads us out. We got a 3-year-old who's chaos. We have a 13-year-old who thinks he's smarter than us. And as well as one of the twins who also thinks he's...
That's Kai.
Oh, my God.
Can't tell that boy nothing.
Kai's still learning math, but you couldn't tell him he's not a mathematician.
Right.
Like, he is just... His confidence is just...
He just be so loud and wrong. All the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To the point that I just be like, I don't even...
And then don't let him be right. Daddy, isn't it true? And then Sai's like, no, it's not. And I'll be like, yeah, it's true. I told you, Sai. I told you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And he does this little head movement thing. I'll be like, boy, shut up. Hush now. God dang it. Okay. But yeah, I do wish that I could make more time for games with them because they really do love it. They truly do. And I buy games for us to play. Like Marcus said, it don't be happening.
It don't be lasting though. They attention span be short.
It does. But I still feel like, man, I wish that I could focus like they were learning. They were really during the pandemic learning chess. They were loving it.
Yeah,
and then we lose the pieces because of Amar. Or they bend up the cards because they think cards are to bend and make stuff with.
Well, just don't put them back in the box.
Oh, that's basic. The basic thing. Okay, here's another a family trend. And then we'll do our audience question. So Patreon, you can put a question inside the chat if you would like for us to answer, and then we'll do our comment of the week. Sleep training. That is something people are now paid to come into your home and train your baby how to sleep so that you get your baby to sleep on a schedule that is more conducive to you sooner.
What?
Sleep. It's called sleep training. So
Why don't
usually
they just wake the damn child up early?
Because it's not. We're talking about a baby, not a child.
Okay, wake the baby up early.
Babies are hard to wake. Babies are hard to wake up when you want them up. Babies, when you want them up, they're like, I can't do it. You'll get them up for 2 seconds and they'll be like, I'll go back to sleep. When you don't want them awake is when they're like, what we doing, guys? It's a game night.
If that's what they want to spend their money on, I guess.
We never did sleep training.
Nah. That's why I'm like, what?
That's why we also have a 3-year-old that ends up in our bed a lot of the time.
He don't. On the weekend, maybe.
I mean, okay.
It's not a lot of the time. Like, he usually has a bad run after staying with your mom. But every Monday through Friday, he's usually in his bed.
He's in his bed, but he sometimes, and I'm going to stick with a lot of the time. I'm not saying all of the time or most of the time, but a lot. In the middle of the night, he'll end up coming into our room. People who sleep train, that is not happening. Unless the child is severely scared about something, they are trained to realize that is not where they go to at night. That they can wake up and just lay in their bed until they fall back to sleep. So you say...
Sci-Kai Marcus, they wasn't in our bed.
I know.
It's just this last little asshole.
That's what I just said. I said it's only Amar. I get it. Shoot. I wouldn't do it, but I get it. I get why people do sleep training.
If you got the money to do it. If you want to.
But I like co-sleeping in the beginning. So
yeah, I
don't want it. I don't want it. Sustainability. So, meaning a lot of families currently, they are very much so on we're not using up extra energy. We're using reusable stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the focus that families have on that versus, now we do all that, but versus we're still well into technology? You know, families back in the day, it was not a lot of, like, TV had a time period in which it could be watched.
Yeah, you ain't have no choice.
But the families, and also families would set it. It'd be like, okay, like kids used to play outside.
Yeah,
they did
TV
not get
used to go off.
It did. Parents would not let you just come inside and watch TV. You go outside and stink up yourself by playing.
Yeah. But the other thing is kids wanted to be outside too. We had to get told to come inside.
True. Very true. I wonder, well, you know, I know why kids don't want to be outside. Their video games do a lot.
It's too much to do inside, yeah.
Their video games are so much more fun.
I feel like I grew up in a time where that was, and then we'll get back to the thing. I grew up in a time where video games were still fun, but I was in an area and the games that they had, we still found things to do outside that we thought were fun too. So it was pretty well split. Like even through the summertime, we not in school. We just got a bunch of us time. And it's like we going to spend first half of the day playing Mario Kart and whatever else. Because one of us had a Nintendo 64, one of us had a Sega Saturn, and the other, I don't remember what he had, PlayStation maybe, or whatever he had. Anyway, we was playing different stuff. Then this is like, all right, we gotta go finish this little project we got working outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off somewhere doing something stupid and dangerous. So now it's just like kids just get into these games and they just in them.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what was the thing?
What sustainability versus a lot of parents are very about sustainability, but also on the same token, the kids is not outside versus back in the day, sustainability, this planet crumbling to its death was not something our parents were thinking about, but the kids were outside.
Right. So now you saying now they got parents that's like sustainability, but your kids ain't outside?
Yes, I'm saying you'll see. I feel like that is more of the trend where we are more conscious that we're like, okay, now we can't be using a bunch of things that are only single use, but our kids they ain't smelled fresh air since they got home from school.
Right. One, I agree. I mean, definitely people should be more sustainable. Absolutely, they can definitely focus on that. But I feel like if you can't go around preaching one without going full 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, y'all stay. So what all you got in here charging right now? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the thing that truly ends up being the direct why kids aren't outside. It's the direct consequence. Excuse me, that took me forever to get out. It is the direct consequence of we no longer live in the neighborhoods we grew up in.
Yeah, that's true too.
We have become more of a nomadic people. We move to wherever our careers are taking us. We don't feel the pressure to stay in the town that our mother grew up in, our father grew up in, our grandparents.
But you still got those neighborhoods. Like our first house, that was a community. Like Marcus could go out, run around, play in the neighborhood. We wouldn't have to worry about him. Now we don't live around no kids like that.
He couldn't play out in the neighborhood. He could play with
it was like a street over.
Yes, but it was like because he was with an older kid. I don't think I would have felt comfortable even in that neighborhood just because of the access of that main street.
Yeah.
With him playing outside just in the neighborhood by himself.
Yeah. But it was still like outside playing around.
Yeah.
Not in the situation we are currently.
Yes. I recall being able to play outside by myself. Didn't have to have anyone supervising me at a very young age.
No, I was very young, out up and down the sidewalk, front yard, backyard, and then let's not talk about New Zion. Mm-hmm. We would just, can we go around the lane? And we would be gone.
Yes. I mean, when you out in the wilderness,
we out in the country. It's like, you know how to survive. If you don't, you're going to learn.
Last one that I was going to bring up is, what do you think about, which is currently the trend now, the everyone wins parenting trend?
Nah, it's kids need to learn defeat. They need to learn failure. Need to learn you didn't do it good enough. That's why your team got their ass beat. Everybody don't win. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's okay for them to grow up with that. Mm-hmm. Grow up learning, knowing what it's like to lose. Because the first time you do, whenever they do get away from that whole everything win, now they taking it so much harder. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like a thing of like we've had deaths in our family, and we typically have not taken our kids to any other funerals except Marcus went to one. Mm-hmm. By the time I was Marcus's age, I'd been to 15, 20 funerals of people that I dearly loved and cared about at the funeral, crying as a kid. These kids don't know that. The first time they're going to experience, the first time when Marcus experienced a real loss like that was my dad. Yeah. And most likely the first time the twins are going to experience something like that, unfortunately, it's probably be one of our parents.
His first one was Wendell.
Wendell, yes. Yeah. But he didn't go to the funeral.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So like on that same thing, it's like losing is a part of life. Mm-hmm. Regardless of how big or small the loss may be, you're losing a game or a loved one or whatever it may be. But like, especially kids go out, they're playing games, they're having fun, still have fun, but understand you have to work work hard enough to get that. You can get a good job. That's part of the trophy. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the coach being good enough to say, good job. The parents, you did really good. You may not win this time, but you be proud of yourself. Because in the adult life, regardless of how hard you fail, you can still be proud of yourself that you even trying.
I don't mind the everybody wins. I don't think it takes away the sting of losing. I mean, I feel like, I feel like it doesn't matter how many ribbons and how many trophies we give out. These kids are fully aware somebody did better than them. I do think
somebody did better, but don't give them one.
No, this is what I do feel like. This is the way that I think it can be helpful. It can be helpful or harmful. I do think we put so much emphasis on did you win or did you lose that we don't see what the learning opportunity is in the situation. It's more so on just the result of it. And of course, if you are competing, then that is honest to God, you are just trying to win or lose.
Right.
However,
well, you trying to win.
Well, right. You typically not trying to lose. Sorry.
Let's see if we can lose this one, fellas.
However, unlike an adult in a professional situation, these children typically are not in professional situations. They're in situations where the stakes should not be that high so that they can learn from whatever it is, where the learning opportunity is more important than the result of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when you start
to a point,
maybe when you start to get to high school, when you're being recruited and your future is actually dependent upon the result.
I think high school's too late. I say middle school.
I don't
fifth
know.
grade, even before fifth grade, in my opinion.
I really because when you get stuck on the result having the main value, then you are going to have a hard time finding a resolve, in my opinion, when the result isn't the thing that you want.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Don't just because everybody's not getting a trophy don't mean the end result has to be, whoop, you lost. It's just like, give them that gratitude. Give them that appreciation.
That's what I feel like the trophy is a good job. It's just a good job. It's a good job.
A good job is a verbal thing. Good job is cake and ice cream. You know what? Y'all try that trophy sticks around forever. Just be like, now here's a trophy. Oh, y'all won.
It doesn't say winner. It says a participation award. That's literally what it says.
It don't matter what it says.
That's what it says. It's participation.
Golden trophy for it's because I played this game. Did you win? No, I was there though.
But they know what happened. No. They're not delusional. They're not thinking, no, I think we won. They are delusional. I think we won. They're like, the other team definitely scored way more points than us.
What'd they get? Their trophy says the difference is a plaque. Nah.
Yeah. I'm not mad about it. Listen, at the school that little Marcus is on, you are put on whatever team you want to be on, even if you suck. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing, other than golf. And I think tennis, because they have limited spots. But all the other basketball, you could have 2 left feet and no hands. You're playing basketball. Yeah, you want to play it. But that's a part of that comes with the everybody wins environment. They
didn't walk away with no trophies. And they only lost one goddamn game.
No. I'm just saying that is a part that came along with the everyone wins. But
so there's levels to it then.
Yeah, we're not doing cuts. Everybody plays.
I get everybody plays.
You remember that's not how we came up.
I know.
You would get cut.
Yeah, I get everybody plays, but it's different at his school too because they ain't got 38,000 kids in a classroom.
Right.
So they we can't have a basketball team of 50 people.
No, right, but
we can only have 2 teams.
But they could cut. They could be like, nah, not this year. You didn't get it. Listen, our son should have, if they had cuts, our son would have been cut. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find.
Guess what that would make him do?
Not play?
No, he would be like, I want to get good at this.
I don't know.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know. Even after the season, I was like, does it make you want to play more?
Because that's just not his thing. No, I'm saying that's not his thing. But he wants to run track. He likes running track. Let him get cut from the track team because he can't run long enough or fast enough. He'd be like, what do I need to do?
Had he been cut earlier on, he would have been like, okay. Because we forced him and he got all them participation ribbons, huh?
No.
Yes. He said, now I want a real ribbon.
No.
Yes. Here's our question of the week. Audience question of the week. How old do you think is too old for an age difference in a couple? This is from Desi T. Thank you, Desi.
It depends on the age of the couples.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? 5-year difference in your teens, early 20s, that's a chunk. Mm-hmm. You got somebody that's 17 versus somebody that's 22. Hey, what the hell going on here?
Tony Baker said it best. Them the kids.
Yeah.
Them are the kids.
Yeah. Even 20 to 25, that's still kind of like, mid age. Once you hit your 30s and 40s, that's the same age.
30 is the same as 40. Other than maybe your knees.
35 and 40. Mm-hmm. It's a little, it's a couple hours difference.
I don't think
40 and
wrong.
45. That's the same exact age. Y'all are twins.
I think 30 and 40 is fine. A 30-year-old dating a 40-year-old, while y'all might have some definite differences in thoughts and stuff, I don't think there's a...
No, that ain't a problem. But I feel like that gap is definitely bigger versus 40 and 50. 30 and 40 is a much bigger gap than 40 and 50.
I absolutely
when it comes to
agree.
dating.
I absolutely agree. I think once you hit 26, you can date as old as you want to. That is what I do honestly agree.
Yeah.
I think you have to be a smart 26, meaning, if you're a 26-year-old dating a 67-year-old, you better be honest about what's really going on.
Yeah.
You can't be sitting here talking about, no, really, this man loves me just for my mind, and we have so many things in common. Be honest with yourself.
Y'all ain't got nothing in common but hoping that food wake up in the morning.
Just be honest with yourself of, I am putting myself in a situation to hopefully inherit everything this person has when they go, or I'm putting myself in the situation where I have some stability, yada, yada, yada.
Y'all talking 10-year difference, 25 and 35 and 26 and 36. To me, that's a big difference.
25 and 35?
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
It definitely can be. Here's my thing. This is what I feel about age difference. I think it's all about, is someone going to be easily taken advantage of because of the maturity, because of the older person.
Right.
And when you're dealing with people who are very close to when they became legal, as far as in as an adult. So when you're dealing with somebody at 18, they're just now being considered an adult. There is a very small, tiny window where you are no longer capable of being taken advantage of. Like an 18-year-old to a 20-year-old, that's a lot of life experience can happen between 18 and 20.
Yeah.
A lot of life experience can happen between 18 and 21. Not to say that in some world, in some universe, they could have the exact same life experience and be perfect. Well, you know what? Be perfect for each other in 2 more years.
Right.
Let's just wait a little while. Be perfect for each other in 3 more years actually would be better.
Yeah. A lot of more life happens from like 15 to 35 than that happens probably the rest of your life.
There's so much human development happening at that time.
Mental development, physical, it's so different.
Even a 9th grader dating down into middle school, I'd be like, absolutely not.
A senior, dude, when I was in high school, there was a girl I was in 9th grade with dating a senior, and I was like, that is way too much time.
Now, I almost dated down to a freshman my senior year. I'm not going to even lie.
Make no sense, Angel.
I didn't. As soon as I had to find out his mama would have to bring him to homecoming, I said, nope. I'm realizing I've made a huge mistake. I was also a young senior, though. I was a very young senior. So it would have been more like a freshman-junior split.
Yeah, I'd have definitely hollered at a senior, but by my 10th grade year, I'd have definitely hollered at a senior. 9th grade, I was too shy.
Oh.
Yeah, I was shy.
Oh, I would have eaten you up.
With a senior, I was shy.
I would have eaten you up.
Yeah, I'd have let you.
I know. But yeah, so like Lil Marcus, he's going into the 9th grade. If he had feelings for an 8th grader, I'd be like, well, wait until she gets to 9th grade.
Yeah.
Y'all can be friends. Y'all can be cordial. But you will not call that girl your girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's just not happening.
Yeah, and honestly, that's not much of a difference, but he's getting more experience over at high school.
Absolutely.
Than she's getting at a middle school. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's
it all depends on the maturity level, where you at in life. All of that changes depending on how old you are, as far as the age difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when you 45, you dating a 60-year-old, that is perfectly fine. For real, it's just like that's one just slightly older than the other.
No,
but it can't be no 15-year difference, you know.
Yeah, no. If
you 25, you shouldn't be dating nobody 15 years in either direction.
If one of my 25-year-old nieces was like, they had a boyfriend that was 40, he's gonna get run up and get done up. Like you just not gonna be able to tell me, sir, that this is making sense. No.
She ain't gonna be able to tell me.
You're-
Like, explain to me. I don't even blame that fool yet. Explain to me why you think this is okay.
Once she 26, 27, then me and her gonna have a regular conversation of like, all right, so you know what this is, right? No, he like,
Smash
yeah,
and grab.
yeah.
That's all it is.
I'm be like, yeah. No, even if y'all get married, know he's with you because you're young.
Yeah.
I don't care whatever else he tells you. It's because you are a new model, a new floor model at that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a good chance also.
Still got the tape on you.
Listen, y'all could make it. Y'all could make it to the end of time. However, don't be surprised if he trades you in
For a newer model.
He might not, but he might.
Yeah, that's what be happening.
But then sometimes not. Your cousin, her husband was older than her
daddy.
father.
Yeah. And she was the youngest of, not the youngest, she's the second to youngest of, I don't know, no, it's a lot of goddamn kids.
She's younger than Marcus's mom.
Yeah. And that, she's younger than my mom. And that brother, mama's brother, basically it's mama's niece, her brother had kids older than mama.
Yeah. How do you remember the age gap between them two?
Who? Mom and her?
The cousin and her husband.
Oh no, it was astronomical.
Was it like 20? Over 20?
It had to be at least.
It has to be because
because it's
it's probably
let
30.
me count the kids down.
It was probably 30. A 30-year age gap. And when did they get together?
It's like 8, 9 kids. She's the second to youngest.
It had to have been 30.
At least 30. It was at least 30.
When did they get married? Was it before you were born?
No. I was at the wedding. I remember the wedding.
Okay. So she was a grown woman.
No, that was Flora's wedding.
Oh.
Whose wedding was I at? Was I at there? I don't know.
All of my life.
It wasn't before I was born though.
I knew them since I was 12.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if she's close to your mama's age. Your mama is 30 years older than me. She was definitely at least a grown woman.
Yeah, no, she was grown.
Grown.
No, she was grown, definitely.
But there was a 30-year difference. Now they stayed together until he passed recently. I feel like those are rare. Those happened back in the day. In 2023, they trading you in.
Yeah, I don't know how he made it.
She kept him young.
No, I don't know how he made it with my family, dealing with my family. Listen. How you run up on some young chick, she got all these brothers and a daddy that's dangerous.
Listen, that's the way they were doing it back in the day.
There wasn't that big of an age gap, but daddy, he had mama's the youngest of what, 11? Mm-hmm. Daddy rode up and it's only 2 girls.
Back in the day, age gaps didn't matter as
much.
No,
I'm not saying the age gap. I'm saying mama had all these brothers and uncles.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not referring to your parents. I'm just saying in general, back in the day, age gaps didn't matter.
That wasn't a thing. No.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, you gonna marry, he's your granddaddy's
15,
friend.
Yeah. Well, get with Mr. Harold.
Yes, a man you called Mr. Okay, this is the audience question. Sorry, we didn't have y'all on here for forever. Audience question of the week. Not question. Comment of the week. Here we go. It's from EB6644. The most embarrassing moment was my mother came to school to beat up my brother's teacher. Backstory, the teacher was bullying my older brother. My mother chased her around the room while the class was screaming, Jerry, Jerry. This was from the 90s, by the way. I heard her screaming at the teacher, so I lied and said I needed to use the restroom and went to my brother's class just for her to swing the door open and yell at me saying, Ebony, take your black ass back to class.
Why whoop his woman's ass?
We were the talk of the school year. Poor NYPD and our principal got threatened by her. LOL. This is a comment on our last week's podcast. Mama embarrassed me. If you all haven't seen that podcast episode, it was hilarious. Marcus's mama called him after the podcast and was like, "Where's my yellow nightgown?"
That nightgown wasn't yellow for a long time. It was no longer yellow. Transparent.
All right, so make sure you all are commenting and interacting with our content, both on YouTube and on Instagram at Is This Going to Cause an Argument? This is the end of our episode. I hope you all have enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Tell them where they can enjoy you more at, baby.
Y'all can enjoy me on Instagram at Marcus Here on the Gram, Facebook at Marcus Here on the Book, TikTok at Take Don't Talk. Y'all can find my beard and body butter called Man Shit. You can go to manshYT.com. Y'all can check out the scented and unscented version. You can also find me on my other podcast, Let Us Tell It. And just go over to Tanksley TV and subscribe and watch Taste It with Tank just drops every Monday. So make sure y'all check those out too.
Who's your guest this week?
Quinn Walters.
Oh, yes.
The fabulous shoe.
And her fantastic shoe game. You can find me at That Chick Angel or That Chick Angel TV across almost every single platform. You know, I'm here to give you some laughs, to give you some fun. So if you want that, go ahead and check me out everywhere. Also, make sure you tune in to a Black Lady Sketch Show premiering April 14th. Patreon, we're going to obviously do a special event as an immediate family to celebrate that premiere. And also check out Saturdays on Disney Plus. It's also another show that I guest star in. It just premiered. It's a great show. It revolves around 3 gorgeous black girls. And it's about friendship in Chicago. So I think that's it. And until next time. The code for How Married Are You? You can go to their website, which is How Married Are You podcast, and our code is Tanksley50. You'll get $50 off their premarital advantage course. So if you go to their website,
that's TANKSLEY 50.
That is the code. You get $50 off, and it's their premarital advantage e-course. Glenn and Yvette have been married for a long time. They also are parents of 4. And they're really great at being able to capsulize what they've learned in marriage and be able to share it with you in your premarital or marital journey, wherever you are.
Wherever you at.
So make sure you check them out. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll talk to you all later.
Y'all have a good one, fam.
Bye.